Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We have now with us Rena Beena. Hi, Rena.
Hi.
Rena, do you have a preference of Ashley, Edie, Grunt, James, Miranda, Samara, who you would want to die?
I just
Name
don't
two.
know them, so
Just choose two names: Ashley, Edie, Grunt, James, Miranda, Samara.
Edie is a weird name.
Okay, so Edie death. Okay, and who else?
Edie die. What's Grant?
Grunt. Actually, like
Grunt.
like
yeah, Grunt too.
So Edie and Grunt is who you want to die?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So we kill the big boob bot and the test tube baby. Okay.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Rena wants to kill the big boob bot and the test tube baby.
I didn't know.
It's okay, you know. That's fine. Edie's just like super kind and sweet and literally has a crush on Seth
robot,
Green.
Though.
But has a crush on Seth Green and literally chose a body. Chose a curvaceous body with big boobs specifically to get his attention because she has a crush on him, which is like really funny.
I mean, I admire the hustle. You know.
Yeah.
Good
awesome.
going.
Wade is yelling at me for not getting back to it, but this is it. We're literally talking about the campaign. This is not us talking about Wade talking about us. All right.
Session 0 right now. Okay.
Well, these are the important decisions that need to be made.
Oh,
so,
right. Yeah, no, I understand.
All right. So, game, starting you off. Okay, Rena, for your session 0 to kind of like pull you into where you are. As a reminder, it's weird being here. Let's be honest. When you first woke up, when you first kind of came to, it was a struggle. I mean, it always felt like you were drowning. The amount of pressure on you, it was difficult to breathe. It was difficult to move, not to mention the amount of pain that you were in. You barely survived that attack. You don't even know what it was. It's been so many years now that it's even hard to recall what the ship looked like. You know that it was alien. You know there was a ship design you had never seen before. It popped up quickly on scanners, and while that's certainly not your forte, your position on your vessel was to oversee some of the guns. And so it's not a glorious job and certainly not one that you wanted to focus on. You did what you needed to do. You scanned. You saw the vessel there. You can clearly tell that this thing, just based off of the alien nature of it and the fact that it was not maintaining any type of, well, let's just say the core that it was using was leaking, which would be dangerous for any normal person to be on. So right off the bat, this is a concern. You sent your scans over to the captain of the ship, and Alina made the decision that what you need to do is to brace for combat. You immediately were sent over to your station of weapons. You barely even got to your station, didn't even get to your chair when the attack hit. That attack immediately ripped through the hull of the ship. Either way, you remember these details as flashes. Occasionally you wake up in the middle of the night, not necessarily nightmares, not necessarily like you're thrashing around or anything, but occasionally you wake up remembering a couple flashes or scenes. But most importantly, you do keenly remember when you first woke up and how heavy and dense this place was. Certainly nothing like where you were raised. And it was a time of adaptation. A year, 2. Honestly, there was so many years ago now, who cares? But the people here too, at least they were kind. With everything that had transpired, with everything they had gone through, how quickly and willingly they were able and capable of welcoming you into their community. The friends that you've made, and unfortunately the tragedies that you've survived through with them, you're one of the few that made it. I mean, fortunately, you just don't require as much food or water as the others. Not because you're unique in any way, it's just you're not as large as some of the other people. So you were able to suffer and make it through. Some of the others were. And Then time went on and a couple more situations. Anyways, these are the details that, of course, as always, plague you. Not always, but occasionally plague you as you were getting ready this morning. I mean, why are they plaguing you? Because you know that the city that you live in, city's kind of a joke to call it, but the place that you call home, New Babylon, it's safe enough for now. You've worked really hard with some of the peoples here, the greatest minds here. Unfortunately, you having to be one of them, to put up the defenses that you had. It's the only reason why people are alive. But the simple fact of the matter is you're not in a good location for growing the crops that you need. You're not in a good location for being self-sustained. You have to trade with the others. Most specifically, you have to trade with the Elysium Fields. Without their crops, the people will starve. And so, you called out for a couple of volunteers. You got them. And today's the day that you're going out. You have scrap. You have an airport. Old hangar here with a bunch of broken down ships. Nobody knows how to fix them. There's not even really a pilot amongst your crew anymore. I mean, you know a couple of details, but you're no mechanic. And so you're dismantling them and taking the parts that others can use for water refreshers or irrigation fields or so on, and you trade them. You have your supplies. You have your crew. You just need to go and head on out. When you step out of your home, prepared with your, we'll use the term armor, put on. You have your weapon of choice at your side. God, this thing's barely functioning nowadays, but you have it with you. It works. And, well, in a pinch, it can certainly take down a couple of people. It sprays. The tungsten mag that you have logged into it, it's running low. And the thermal clips that your people have been able to gather are similarly running very, very low. But the rule is if you leave the city, you fill up any materials you can get your hands on. Fuck me. 1 metagel? That's all you can get? God damn it. At least you can load out your armor with 10 thermal clips. Not that low yet. You have those on your person, and you go out to meet out with the other two. On your way over there, you come across one of your favorite people that happens to live in the city. It's a guy by the name of Christian. He's even-keeled, level-headed. Never had any formal training by any stretch, but, his uncle was in the Alliance when the Alliance was still here. He looked up to his uncle and got a little bit of training as a young boy, but when the Alliance is pulled out of here, because Citadel deems this location not worthy of maintaining control of, well, he just had to kind of hold on to what he did. He's a decent person, at least. Comes walking up to you. Hold on. You have to take care. I have this right. Where are you? Don't say anything. Zenestthea. Zenestthea. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
The others are ready. We have the transport good to go. Loaded up with whatever scrap we can get our hands on. You think they're gonna be there?
Oh, can't exactly say for sure, but here's hoping, right?
Yeah. It's been rough lately, The attacks have been a bit more frequent. You don't think that they're going to try anything today, do you?
By the goddess, I hope not, but we can only be so prepared with what we have. Just take it slow and make sure that we're careful as much as we can be.
Well, I do have to say that that group that's been attacking, if you're not here, I'm just hoping that we can hold them off. So be as quick as you can. Everybody here knows that you're our best defense against them. You're probably the only reason why we're not all dead yet.
I'll do what I can. I just not sure exactly why they've started to attack more recently now. My only thought is that somehow they've caught wind of us here, even though I've tried to be so careful. I'll be quick,
Have you heard?
I promise.
Have you heard the rumors about them?
Rumors?
Well, we've known for a bit now, or at least believed for a bit now, they're from Promethean Station, but
Right. That. Yes.
it's
I've heard
it's rumored that they've well, recently got their hands on some functioning tech. They've been able to fix up one of their well, it's like a tank. I don't know if that's the right word for it.
we don't have that kind of machinery.
I don't even know how it would be able to pierce the armor or something like that, but I'm just afraid that one of these days they're just going to come and blast through the walls, and what are we going to do? What's our plan? We have no way out. One of the children is hoping to say goodbye before you leave.
Oh,
Points behind
see
you.
That seems quite eager. He does.
Well, we all take our turns babysitting.
Regardless, find some form of defense. It's really all we can do, but it's going to take a lot more than what we've been doing so far. I won't lie to you, that makes me a bit nervous, but as all the other times before, we haven't had much of a choice. Just figure it out somehow.
Remember that time that that was somebody else's focus, and before you took over as the leader here, and you kind of like hung back and respected that person's space, and it seems as though nobody's willing to return that favor. Children.
No. Yeah,
All right, moving on. So, good messy. So he says, we'll try to be ready for them, whatever it is. At least there's nothing flying, right? Ain't seen none of those in God over a dozen years.
I would be shocked.
All right, well, good luck.
She nods.
He'll like turn to walk you with the gate where you're gonna meet up with the two other people that are there, and those names are gonna be the two most recent one in chat. David and Axel are gonna be with you. So David and Axel come to join you as you're leaving. They come up. One of them has with them a pistol. Another one has an assault rifle. As they make their way over, you kind of get together your own stuff, and the sled starts moving out. We'll say David is the one that's sitting on top of the thing and functioning it, kind of driving it forward as it goes, and you kind of like begin your walks, if you will. As you're making your way out, are there any other details that you want to ask or look to before you go?
I imagine she'd take like another kind of look around on her way out of their settlement. Just kind of like the, which I'm sure isn't very large. She just like the different people that are around, like little places that she's helped set up, like things like that. Kind of reminiscing almost, but also just kind of taking it in just in case.
Sure. So you look around at exactly what you're just saying, just like the little buildings outcropping, so on and so forth. I mean, unfortunately, the population it dwindled a lot for the first couple of years, and then it was able to stabilize and even grow a little bit as like children were born. and no more tragedy is, but then again, these attacks have happened and the population again is dwindling. I mean, you're what is it, 70 strong? My apologies, about 70 strong. Am I wrong?
What, age-wise, you're talking about strength.
Strong being how many people that are there?
Oh, it's more than that.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, 230 was the big do several harsh. You lost nearly a quarter remaining. So less than 230. So probably around 190 people that are there right now.
Okay.
But not everybody's above grounds. You also have locations that are kind of like underground and what have you for extra security, so on and so forth. So kind of like looking at this and knowing the different tunnels, whatever that are there, hoping that God forbid it did get attacked while you were away, that at least the people will be able to hide themselves well enough that things would be able to get through. I mean, they are fighting against people. It's like you're fighting against vicious beasts. Vicious beasts, of course, that you do have to be worried about. One of the reasons why you even chose this location was not just because of how defensible it is for the against the attacks of these other people. One of the other reasons why you chose this location is because let's face it, the magnetosphere, like the magnetic field around this moon, is not as strong as some other planets or moons, and so the amount of radiation that comes off of the sun is, well, it's very damaging, and you literally have to shield yourself from the sun as much as possible. Literally just walking around with your armor on, with your shields kind of put on, you're safe. You know what I mean? But in general, like, you have to be careful. And because of that, the indigenous creatures that happen to exist here, the carapaces on them, much like that of Torian, naturally resists that kind of radiation, making them like much more hard-skinned or shelled than others. I mean, the names that the humans here came up with are kind of goofy, but they're humans. What do you expect? That doesn't change the fact that they are indeed dangerous. You look around, taking in the sights, and kind of remembering different details as you had said. And then you look at the sled and the different details that are on there. Holy shit. They did do it. You gave the order recently and you weren't sure, but the pod that you came in on, the last little bit of where you came from, they broke it down, dismantled it. It's parts now. Parts that you're trading for another day. Why hold on to what you were when you need to give these people a chance to see what they can become, right? Is that not the way that you were taught? Either way, may the goddess look after you as you... Hi, Molly! How you doing?
Molly.
Who wants to tell Molly what Wade's doing?
Oh, no.
Who wants to tell her? Who wants to tell her? Okay, you tell her. Rena, you tell Molly what Wade's doing.
No, I'm not gonna. No. He's in chat. He can tell her himself.
No, he's not going to tell her. He's going to lie. He's a bad husband.
Oh, I'm sorry. He doesn't want to admit it, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Can we? What's that hashtag going around? What is that? Save Wade's someone or
Minion
another?
Miranda. Minion Miranda, apparently.
Oh.
Who made that Nightbot command, by the way?
Probably Rosin.
Listen, when somebody raids, you're allowed to spend a minute or two to talk to them. Thank you, Wade. Molly, Wade is putting a lot of effort into saving Miranda.
It's a good chunk of effort, that's for sure.
It's a significant amount of effort into saving Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make sure that you're
Save
aware.
The ass effect. I'm dying.
Save the ass effect. Oh my god. Ass effect.
You got Bird to make a Patreon to help you with this? How did you commission Bird? Oh my god.
They owe him dinner.
What
I had
would
to
you
click
even say
buttons.
to him? Hey bud, listen, can you make a Patreon and just vote for this thing for me? Thanks. That's
Rena, he DM'd him on Discord. He sent him a couple Miranda ass gifts. And Bird was like, I'm in.
Literally Wade was like, what if I told you this was going to be, eradicated from existence, but you could do something about it? He'd be like, oh, me? I could do something about it?
For only 37 cents a month.
However much the Patreon is, yeah.
Yeah, 37 cents a week. You can save that ass.
You can save that
In the arms of the angel.
shaped exactly like that. Yeah. Going down.
Okay. Let's
You
let's
too
get
can
back to
sponsor that ass.
it. Oh, it's awesome.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
I,
Oh yeah,
I think I
trading my past for the future.
no, I think I decided that I'm going to make a what's it called, an OnlyFans, and I'm going to buy some hex
Not weird.
grid
Not.
yoga pants and you know, allow people
I'm
to
surprised
donate.
you know what those are. That's so funny.
Excuse me, I am a husband that shops for his wife, and I see various things that make me go. Sometimes I see things that make me go.
I'm gonna ask Britt if she's okay. Yeah. So I got
Is
a weird
Brittany okay?
feeling.
Brittany's fine. She brought me a coffee.
Aw.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sick over here. Let me bring you a coffee. All right.
What?
All
You
right.
you don't deserve her, Scott.
For so many reasons. Let's get back to the game. All right. Where were we? By the way, Messy, wrong GIF. If you can post the correct one, that'd be better for everybody. Chat needs to know what it is that they're donating to. All right. You face Rena. So you were looking around. You see, your pod. It was the last bit of who you had, but again, that's how you were raised, right? As to lead others, to guide them into the future, and so on. So anyways, you are turning and making your way out of the city after having kind of like taken this in and absorbing it, so on and so forth. As you're making your way out, as I said, David is riding on top of this transport, and Axel is walking with you.
Yeah.
Do you make immediate conversation, or is the first couple of minutes of the walk going to be a silent one?
I feel like the first few minutes might be silent, just kind of as she's thinking about like possible, I don't know, like different avenues of building up their defenses or moving them, or like what she's just trying to decide what she should do, because if the rumors are true and they do have, you know, a tank that they're going to come in and attack them with, and she doesn't have anything to defend against that, so she's trying to come up with something to just keep everybody safe. So she's brainstorming, I think.
Okay. After a couple of minutes, you'll have Axel making his way over to you. Maybe a better angle, Messy. Maybe just a different, better angle.
He's literally smirking over there as he's like searching for these. You're so weird. I like looked at chat and then I looked over and he was already looking and smirking at me.
So Rena, as you're making your way over there, like walking ahead, Axel walks from, you know, the side that he's on over to where you are, and goes to you know, kind of like talk to you, and he says, Zenestthea, have you heard the rumors of, you know, what they're saying that PS is doing?
Yeah, just talking about it this morning actually. I really hoping they're not true, but so many are speaking about them. Not something I want to ignore.
I mean, they have been ramping up their efforts a lot lately, and it does seem as though they've been using better and better weapons. The rumor is that they got themselves an engineer, one that can actually, you know, fix up the shit that they're using. That'd be bad. Being at a, you know, PS, they have access to all that old tech. I mean, there's so much they could do with that. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit concerning. I just keep, you know, I don't know about you, but I keep looking to the skies, waiting for hell to come dropping in.
And she kind of looks at him as they're walking. It may seem a little overwhelming, but we don't have all of the knowledge yet. We don't know what else, or if that's all they have. And maybe there's another avenue that we can go down instead of trying to fight them. I mean, things would be so much easier if they just were willing to talk. But as she kind of trails off a little bit, a little bit rambly, but then circles back around and says, we can't rely on some outside force to come in and save us from something like this. We have ourselves. That's all we've ever had. So we need to find some way to protect ourselves and save as many as we can. If it means relocating, then we do that. If it means fortifying our defenses, then we do that. But we'll find an answer. I won't stop trying until I do.
Well, Smolder, you know, the reason why we've been able to keep him off is because, well, it's because he, the reason why we've been able to keep him away is because he has been able to be tricked by you this whole time. I mean, the way that you've made our buildings, structured them, the way that the tactics that you've used, you've been able to hide them, hide our numbers, keep it looking like we're bigger and stronger than we are. The rumor is not just that he got an engineer, but that he knows that most of us, can't actually fight. And that's why people are saying that he's getting more ballsy.
Well, I know there's a good many of you that are capable. Perhaps we train you up, and I mean, we should train you up, honestly. We don't have many forces, and I know we don't have many, weapons. She looks down at her last couple of, or her 10 clips, her thermal clips, and thinks about her other weapon, how tiny and, messed up they are, and says, so maybe we could find more things. We're going to have to start getting more tactical about it, less defensive, I think, if we're going to survive anything further.
Well, honestly, take the offensive, right? Bring it to them. You think they're ready for it? So, of course, the way things work out, every time they attack us, they lose more than we do. They take more hits because they don't got the cover we got. We tried to do it that way. I don't know. Maybe we're just lining ourselves up for death. I don't know. It just seems like we're circling the drain. Well, when we have a functioning toilet, that is. And David says, "Oh, what I wouldn't give for a functioning toilet."
She chuckles. I think she'd probably get a little lost in thought at this point as she just nods to what he's saying, but kind of realizing there's no use in continuing to talk about it right now. She's going to stay focused on what they're going out to do.
Kind of like sensing that she's getting all introspective or whatever. He's going to hang back and not pester you any longer, and so he will do exactly that. He'll hang back, and so we move over to more or less your characters as you're making your way. You had already gone prepared with the different supplies that you needed, and it's down by where you have your city. It's not too bad. Again, the combination of the pressure and everything that's here makes it so that you can much more easily stay warm or what have you. But once you start going up into the mountain region that's here, because the moon's not that big, it's dense, it's extremely dense, but it's not that big. As soon as you start going up in altitude, the pressure drops immensely to the point where it's almost a reminder of being. It's one of the reasons why you like going for this walk. It's almost a reminder of what it was like, years beforehand. I mean, you're not a young girl, right? Like, sure, you've been here and you keenly remember, whereas others, they're just human. They've kind of forgotten. To them, it's just been ages. It's been 15 years That's all you've been here for, 15 years since you woke up. And so yeah, you remember your 100 and some odd years of life off of this fucking place before that. And while certainly this isn't how you expect you'd live the rest of your life, it's still not how you expect to live the rest of your life. There's time. There's a lot of time. This is just your adventure. Anyways, you making your way up the steep mountainside, and of course, as you're doing so, you're getting your layers kind of like, grab off of the rolling cart, throw your heavier jacket on, and get the, covering up over your face and what have you that you need to do, kind of pulling it in. You do this for two reasons. First, the primary reason you're doing it is for fucking warmth. Like, let's be serious. You gotta stay warm. But the other reason why you're doing it is because of your skin. I mean, let's be straight. You're an Asari. Asari kind of stand out. I mean, people come in, a plethora of different shades and colors and what have you, humans, but none of them are hues of blues, right? So you want to hide what you are, because now that Smolder and his crew from Promethean Station, know that you are there and what you're capable of doing, you don't want to be the target. You want to make sure that there's more of like, you always hide your numbers and your locations of your people and what have you. You're always throwing them off the scent. You're being cunning. You're being ingenuitive. You're wise. I think your character is walking in with a 16, the highest wisdom in the game, right? You're a very wise character. So one of the things you're doing is hiding who you are as a person. You're making your way up the mountain area, and even though you're covering up your face, it's easier to breathe for you, who is accustomed to this. Oh my God, this is nice for because it's not truly, let's be honest, you're still like, 1.3 atmospheres or whatever it is, but it is a nice little reprieve for a little bit. Anyways, so you're making your way up there, walking along as it gets absolutely fucking frigid. As you're making your way along, there's actually a point in time where the little device that you're driving temporarily breaks down. It's just because of the cold climates and what it is that it's doing to drive, and you literally have to stop your trek for a few hours as you're waiting for this this device to be repaired. What is it? David hops off of the thing, busts out the tools, and starts figuring it out. David is the equivalent of a modern day homeowner utilizing YouTube to fix this thing, literally busting out owner's manuals and the quick little VODs that are attached to it. Fortunately, you have enough Omni tools about that you and David are able to use some Omni tools, but let's be honest, even David's Omni tool is starting to short circuit every once in a while. He occasionally gets that orange screen, goddamn orange screen of death. It pisses everybody off, but eventually devices break down and you don't get an electrician or anybody that can fix it there. So spends a couple of hours. He gets the thing functioning while you, and fortunately you have a halfway decent sharpshooter with you, in Axel, is keeping an eye. One point in time, Axel kind of like looks over and says, hey, Zenny, which by the way is not necessarily a nickname that you like, but definitely what they say. Comes over and says, hey, Zenny?
Yes.
I swear to you, I swear I saw something. And then he kind of like, and then points up at the sky. Of course, it's overcast. It's a thick atmosphere.
She looks in the direction, looks back, kind of checks over the, horizon, like looks out. Okay, so what exactly?
I mean, I swear I saw something moving in the clouds. I'm telling you, they're coming. Ugh.
She looks again and kind of like does the whole like, because it's bright as hell with the sun. I don't know what time of day it is. I'm assuming it's like middle of the day or something like.
Yeah, middle of the day. That's fine. And it is overcast, but it still burns the eyes, right?
It's just bright because of the snow and all the sun, whatever sun there is, reflects off of it, and she's like looking up.
Okay.
I mean, if they were really coming for us, don't you think they'd spot us by now? I mean, we're hidden, but this thing, and she kind of gestures to the whatever device they've come up with to transport their little cart, I guess, or whatever they have. They'd likely see us. Or something might have happened. I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. Don't worry too much.
David looks up and goes, from what he's working on, he kind of like pops his head up and goes, Hey, I made sure I got the most camo-esque blankets that we can get our hands on. I even painted this damn thing. Okay? Nobody's going to see us, even if there was anybody up there. He looks at Axel and says, Get a hold of yourself. You just want to see something. Goes back down.
She runs her hand over the blanket and says, what did you call this? Paisley? guess it's close to camo.
And so he a little bit after that, you hear like he's like, let's go. Axel, help me bag that shit up, as he like hops on the thing and immediately starts driving it because it's functioning, and leaves poor Axel to like go and gather the shit together real quick.
I'll help him if there's anything, but she'll still keep her eye on the horizon in the direction they're headed. Occasionally checking behind her, but not so much as paranoia, just like keeping her eyes peeled.
Yep. You and Axel pretty quickly are able to get the supplies together again that were kind of like dropped or lifted about or what have you, and get them back into the toolbox or what have you. Get it together and you jog to catch up to the thing. Once you catch up to it, you continue your trek and you continue walking around the summit of this place, and then it's back downhill. You start making your way down. You're more than halfway to wherever it is that you need to meet up with them. You make your way down the hill. As you're doing so, you can hear chittering happening not too far off. You look off to the side and you can see it. God damn it. It's a bloodweaver. It's not close to where you are. Like, you're pretty sure it's not going to bother you, but they're called bloodweb weavers. The reason why the humans named them this is because these creatures, while having only 6 limbs, they spin a type of sticky material that reminds them of what arachnids, or what spiders, they call them, have back at home, back in their home world, Earth. So they have something that looks or acts similar to that, though the patterns that they make aren't quite the same. And they're a crimson in color, very like kind of like a deep but bright red in color. These things are extremely sticky, but more than that, they can actually, the stickiness, if you're on them for a little too long, it kind of penetrates through what it is that's there, because like as you go on to it, just like the moving of the web itself causes it to like phase shift, if you will. So it'll go from being like a solid to being like a liquid, a gas, and then back into a liquid and solid again, kind of like holding a bonds to the rest of itself, allowing it to sometimes eep through weaker types of fabrics or armors, and to actually stick to you inside of your armor, giving it kind of like a double hold onto you. You've unfortunately seen people kind of go out this way beforehand. They're concerning, but the good thing about bloodweb weavers is that generally speaking, they're the creatures that are in solitude, right? So they'll pair up when they're doing mating. And that's a concern, because if you see them paired up, usually when they're paired up, they'll stay that way until maybe a couple of days after the hatchlings go. So sometimes seeing 2 means 2. Sometimes seeing 2 means a couple hundred. And so you're like, there's one. Okay, let's avoid this thing and keep moving. Take a wide berth around where it's kind of like setting up its little web or what have you. The things you need to worry about are the scarches. A scarch, you know what a scarch is. They are these other, again, heavy chitin bug-like creatures that have these like large claws, and when they reach out to grab at things, they make this horrible noise as they drag their claws around. It sounds kind of like scarch, like dragging your knife on like a scarch. Yeah,
What's a little weird.
Scarch.
Yeah, it's exactly what. Sure, yeah, that's what they sound like. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, that's I mean, there's another one too. There is this creature. It's very fast moving. It has a chitin or chitin, as some people like to say, a chitin. That is very rigid and sharp, somewhat barbed, along their sides and their backside, and they like to use that as part of their offense and defense. Aptly named Razorbacks, because that's how humans name things. So.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Fair enough.
Scarch.
Very, very literal.
Yeah, but moving on.
Scarp. I just realized that's what he was trying to say. I thought he was just saying sounds.
Scarp. So anyways, and then the final creature that you find very common here, which move sometimes in numbers of dozens, usually half dozen or so, is they're mites. They're called plasmid mites. They're much, much smaller in size. The problem is their bite is more penetrating than you would like it to be. If you're wearing anything lesser than heavy armor, it could punch her through the armor that you're wearing, and they literally inject into you a type of plasmid that has a very visceral reaction inside people's bodies and sometimes can literally kill them. It's pretty horrible.
Ew.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, there's a theory that plasmid mites are actually younger or a different type of, but related to scarches, but you don't have any surviving doctors left to have finished the research to know if that's true or not. But you do know that the Weavers are unrelated and the Razorbacks you believe are unrelated as well. Anyways, continuing on. You're making your way down the mountainside, and as you get to the bottom of it, you look across and thank goodness they are here. The representatives of the Elysian Plains have arrived. Elysian Plains, you've been there before. It's beautiful. I mean, they're literally in the perfect Goldilocks spot of this Goldilocks world to be in. Lives fields upon fields upon fields. The downside is after, they were kind of the colony that got hit the hardest by whatever that was 15 years ago that just kind of happened. Just people disappeared overnight. We're talking thousands and thousands of people just disappeared from all the colonies overnight. They were one of the ones that was hit the hardest. And so they don't have the hands required to do all the work necessary to just overproduce food. So they have enough to produce for themselves and a little bit for trade while you're here. Among the group that's there, you are happy to see that of the group that's there, somebody that you're happy to be friendly with is showing up as well. Her name is Miranda.
Oh, no way.
And she's just kind of a friendly person you made friends with along the way. That is, again, handles trade and whatnot from the Elysium fields. So anyways, when you make your way down there to go meet up with her, once she kind of looks over and she pulls out binoculars and sees just a little bit of your skin kind of peeking out through, immediately she jumps up and starts waving, showing excitement that it's you that's there.
She gives a soft kind of wave back, And then as she approaches, close enough she can hear her. Oh, Miranda. It's good to see you.
She rushes over and gives you a hug.
Which she'll return.
She holds the hug for again, it's one of those things where for a normal person hug, a second or two longer than would be typical. And she says, "It's for warmth. It's fucking cold out here."
Yeah, well, you can see why I'm so bundled up. You should probably have something a bit warmer, pulls at her, tugs at her hood or something.
She kind of chuckles and says, "Well, we trade for good clothes, but can't always get your hands on the best stuff, can you? Besides, this one has a shield generator that works sometimes."
Well, sometimes it's better than nothing, I suppose.
So, just to get the boring shit out of the way, did you get the stuff? She says, kind of like looking at the cart.
She nods and she'll go to show her the things that she brought.
She goes, yeah, might as well get that out of the way while we're waiting. And she looks back and you can see the other two people literally have like ropes over their shoulders as they're dragging this thing forward because, she goes, it broke down on the way here. It doesn't like going high in altitude.
Same with ours. Though it got kind of lucky. Was it Axel who fixed it?
David.
David. David somehow managed to figure out how it works, though I can't exactly say how. He got it working.
David pulls at a wrench and goes, I could take a look at it for you. You know that he has kind of a crush on Miranda. He goes to flip the ratchet, and then as he goes to catch it, it like flops, lands on the ground, and then he's like, goes to pick it up.
She shakes her head and just it turns back to the cart that she brought to like keep showing her, the supplies and things she brought. I'm assuming she's talking about the escape pod pieces. Is that right? That's what I told her I was bringing, among other things.
Yeah, just like the higher quality, mostly functioning tech, anything that still, works, isn't fully rusted out or what have you.
Like food and whatever crops and stuff they have.
Yep, it's food.
Cool.
And whatnot. So anyways, yeah, they start kind of like looking the stuff over, and David's gonna make his way over to the others and help kind of pull it the rest of the way here. So do this stuff. So you're kind of like looking through, and you're piecing through all the different supplies that are here, and then she says, "So how are you guys holding up over there? Over at New Babby?"
Well, it's fine for now. Though the raids have increased. Is that true for you as well? I mean, I know that you've struggled with them before, but with the kind of things that you're offering to trade, it seems like it's maybe or hopefully less likely for you to get as attacked.
She says, things, they've been, and you can tell your passive insight of 15, like, she's definitely holding something back.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's been really hard. And you can tell me. I mean, if there's something I can help with, I'd like to.
Roll a persuasion.
Wow, first roll on the new sheet. Let's break it in. Oh, that's pretty
good. You didn't turn on your virtual dice though.
Oh man, no dice.
Yeah.
Here we go.
0 to 15 plus 5 is 20, but that's okay. That still counts. So anyways, yeah, she says, we haven't been attacked in a while.
She kind of furrows her brow. Or where her brows would be if she had them. Her brow bones.
Half the crop. That's the deal. We're trading half of our crop every harvest in exchange for, I don't know, what, amnesty? It was packaged and spoon-fed to us as peace. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're all sick and tired of what's been going on, but is peace really worth? We're just feeding them. It's only so long until they come back.
Oh, that seems excessive. I mean, is everyone left with enough by the time they come and take half? And is it always half?
They say half. That's what we were told. I don't make these decisions, but that's what the council chose.
Well, Eventually, that's going to change. They'll want more. They won't be satisfied with just half. And she's kind of thinking it over. There's rumors, that they have a tank or something higher tech. People are getting concerned that they're going to be using that to start attacking, and it's I mean, honestly, it's not something that we have many defenses. I mean, I did as best I could to keep us all hidden for as long as I did, but it seems like that's beginning to run its course in some ways. And
I
who knows
wouldn't use. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I wouldn't use the word tank, but they got something moving.
That's what I was told, at least. But yeah,
One of the elders thinks it's an old Mako.
And I know what she's referring to, I'm assuming.
That would be a history check for you.
Okay. And I should have my dice on. Yeah, I do.
Are you happy with your 8, or do you want to luck it?
I don't want to look that. It's not that important.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know what a Mako is.
I guess she gives her kind of a confused look.
A Mako? It's a M35 Mako. Or, a goddamn indestructible wad of metal. That thing it's designed to literally be dropped from upper atmosphere, and it's to hit the ground and drive.
How did they get one of those?
It's probably left behind by the Alliance when they abandoned the place, 16, 17 years ago, whatever it's been.
And so they're just planning to drive it around and continue their raids. How did you find out so much about it?
Oh, I saw it.
You've seen it?
It's loud. You hear that thing coming. I saw it. I told you they made a deal. We had walls put up, just like you kind of instructed the design or whatever. They literally drove that thing through it. It has this it shoots fire out its ass and moves real fast. It just smashed through the walls.
And here I thought they were just rumors.
Zenestthea, one of our elders argued with them. They strapped him up to a stick, hoisted him behind the thing, and flicked the boosters on.
It's horrible.
The remaining elders made their vote. I still don't know if I agree with it, but I guess if I was the one that had a stick being held in front of my face, I don't know.
Well, it's good that no more were lost, but she shakes her head. So senseless.
I agree. Well, I just wish you crack, boom. She takes a bullet to the chest and immediately drops.
Oh God! From the back, like she's
she's facing
to her front,
facing towards you. It comes from the side, so it's one of those things. And it's kind of as she turns and hits her, and she immediately spins and drops. If her shields were on, they were not fully functioning.
Did a dex save to try to catch her?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah, you catch her on the drop.
Okay. I don't know what I can do right off the bat.
Yeah, imagine you catch her, you drop down, you immediately like
Yeah,
look around and
like
look down at her.
if I didn't have my shields on already, which I feel like she would have, because going over where they're meeting, just being so nervous, she probably would just have her shields on at least. But yeah, she'd probably be more focused on Miranda. I'm assuming David and Axel are now also paying attention.
So you say that, and you look up at David and Axel, and as soon as you look up, you see crack, boom, a bullet pierces right through Axel's forehead, and he
shit.
drops.
Okay. Well, she's going to. I don't know where we were standing in relation to our cart thing or whatever.
Mhm.
But she's going to kind of bring Miranda over to like the backside because she saw her get shot from the side, and was it the same direction that Axel got shot from?
Yeah, so obviously the both came from the same angle, right?
The same
So
side.
yeah, you
Okay,
go
cool.
to the opposite side, so you
she'll go to
have
the opposite
3/4
side,
to
yeah.
full cover, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're holding Miranda, and she is not doing okay. Do you spend like a moment to try to like you have a Metagel on you? Do you
I
want
was
to
gonna
use
say
it to?
I have the one Metagel I could try to use. And I don't know, my medicine. I guess I could try
Yeah.
the medicine.
Yeah, make a medicine check. I can't turn Rena
shit.
up. Only Rena can.
No, am I too quiet?
Yeah,
Sorry.
all good. I mean, it's not bothering me. I hear everything they hear, and your sound comes in clear to me. I just feel like other people are more sensitive about that stuff, whereas I never have any problems with people's sound. Oh.
I turned it up a little bit, so hopefully this is better. I also brought it closer to my face. Anyway, I rolled trash. Sucks.
Okay. Yep. So you roll trash. So you take your Metagel.
I don't know that there's point in lucking that. We don't even have luck, do we?
You do, yeah.
Oh, we do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh, I don't have that. Sorry, it's a new game, so I have to add the button.
It doesn't matter whether or not you know audio mixing. It's whether or not you are a whiny little bitch, Tyler. That's all. And I'm just always chill. That's all.
Can you remind me how to add the luck to the board?
Top right hand corner, you press the hamburger menu.
Oh, that one?
No,
okay.
Yep. And then at the bottom, you press the very bottom, you press show macro in bar, and then for the rest of the ones that you want, you press in bar.
Oh, here we go. I was like, I don't see it. A 1.
Cool.
Unless that means we don't have it. Yeah, it's just 1.
Yep, just a 1 out of 4 because it's a D4.
I was hoping for a 4 to try to get to a 10, but nope.
All right, cool. So you yeah. So you are able to kind of like drop down and pump the Metagel into her. But unfortunately, Metagel is designed for superficial wounds, and this was a sniper shot that went into her chest. Maybe if you were able to get the right spot or remove the bullet or what have you, maybe if it was you had more time, more training. Unfortunately, you did what you could, but you can literally see your friend gasping her last few crack. Boom! Jesus! You literally see one of the people that traveled with Miranda coming in drops as you hear that. Like, God damn it, you see that. And it's at this point in time, like, I probably should do something. You're holding your dying friend as she's gasping her breaths. And then as you feel free if you want to say the last couple words or what have you, you hear a fourth crack boom. Say anything if you like to. You can also pass. That's fine.
I was going to say it's probably one of those things where she might go to, but she's so like preoccupied with all of the gunfire that's going off that she may not be able to say much, but she'll kind of cup Miranda's face in her palm, give her kind of a somber look, but like a smile, maybe through like a few tears, and then gently kind of lay her down, and then pull her gun out and try to figure out what the hell's going on.
Okay. So you kind of like put that down. There's that last crack boom, and then as you heard that or whatever, you start like standing up to not like standing up like I'm now in the way of
Oh no,
but as
like
you
she's peering over the not stupid. Like
taking in the sights, you can see that not everybody's looking in the direction we expected they would. Now people are kind of like trying to see what the hell's going on, looking up towards the mountain range that you just kind of came down from, and you look behind.
she'd immediately would look too.
And as it's happening, all of a sudden you're looking to see, and then you see a muzzle flash, crack, boom, as another shot goes off. But instead of one of your people dropping, you hear coming from a distance. As you look in the other direction and you see another person not too far from where you are, flops and falls into view. And that's when you realize, oh, you were being ambushed. Those are the ambushers. And whoever that is just shot them. You don't know who the fuck that is. Maybe it's one of your crew. You have no clue. But now you can see the ambushers. One of them took the shot. They fell. And there you can see the other one that was right next to them behind cover. What do you do?
I mean, she doesn't know how many more are out there. Who's still alive? David's still alive, and then one or two.
David is alive. So David's alive, and hold on, Miranda, David, and one of her people died. So there is you, one of her people, and Axel. No, sorry, David's you, one of her people, and you, one of her people, and David are the ones that are living. Sorry,
that's
my brain's
3
broke
because Axel's dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she'd probably call David over. If he's not already behind the same cover, because I imagine that's the only cover around, aside from their other cart. Oh, he was at their other cart, huh? Because he was trying to repair it for him.
Yep.
So he's over there with the other guy. Okay, so then she'd call David over. So she'd say, David, get over here if you can.
He's like, is now a good time?
Seems we have cover.
Okay, and he like and dives. It hits the ground.
Yeah, she pulls him over, so he's like further in.
I imagine it's even like a biotic pull. It's like a little and drag him across. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I don't know. Do you know who that is? She motions back at the ridge. Either way, they got 2 of the ambushers that are over there. I don't know how many more there are, but we've got the cover. Maybe. And she kind of like glances down and glances back because she doesn't want to linger too long on Miranda, who I'm sure he's seen. And I don't know if he saw Axel or not, but she'll say, maybe now's a good opportunity to try and, take more of them out. We've got extra eyes, so.
Taking people out isn't exactly my thing, boss.
Oh, I told you things were going to have to get more tactical, right? We're going to have to change it up. At the very least, stay with, I assume I know the name of the other person who was here, even though they were unnamed.
Yeah, we're going to say their name is Omo.
At the very least, you could stay with Omo and keep them calm. We need these supplies, so we can't just run.
Nods and says, okay, pulls out their pistol and says, if you're going after them, I can at least provide you cover. And he aims over the thing and starts going pop, 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 and is throwing rounds at the cover that they have. When I say at the cover, I mean like literally the cover and nowhere near where the person is hiding behind it, because they're holding a weapon. That doesn't mean they know how to use it. If they're not more than a couple yards. Yeah.
She's just gonna bank on the sounds of it like being beneficial at this point, and the fact that there's somebody who's sniping from the ridge, which she's like, okay, if they took 2 of them out and she hasn't heard any shots since, she might even Okay. This is a little fucked up. It's just a thought I had, but it is smart. Um, she'd use her biotics to take one of the other person, so not Omo, but the other person who had died, right, who had gotten shot, to stand them up, kind of, and put them like out of cover. So if there is another sniper who's like watching them and they shoot them again, she'll know that there's more people out there. Do you follow my train of thought here?
Are you bloodbending right now?
I'm not trying to bloodbend, bro. I mean, it's just a thought. Can I do that? You can say no if I can't do that. It's just a good idea.
Are you bloodbending right now? Are you just fucking like?
I'm being strategic, Scott. I'm trying to see if there's more snipers out there or not. They're looking for bodies. I'm giving them a body.
Okay, well, let's see what weight lift can handle. Jesus Christ.
Hey,
Jesus. It can handle, so the range is 48 meters, so it's definitely close enough that you're fine, but it's only 9 kilograms.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so there's an improved version which allows for 25 kilograms, which is still less than any person I know that's an adult. So definitely too weak to just kind of like marionette a dead body around. I don't think there's any heavier.
I don't know why I keep thinking I could lift people. I can't lift people. I can only lift things.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, you're talking about like, but even still, pull and throw still is not. It doesn't make them like, it's not like they're floating. It's
no,
like
yeah, it won't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta be smaller. Damn, it was a good thought.
Well, a corpse is also a thing, Shadow. To be clear, like you can lift a corpse. That's a thing. That's not a problem. Once you die, you become an object. You're no longer a person for the sake of how spells work. But it's just that they're too heavy. I mean, a fucking halfling, which don't exist in this world, would have to be what she was lifting up, right? Lift is just not that strong. It's 9 kilograms, which equals what? 9 times 2 is like 25 pounds. Not even. What's 9 times 2.2? 19.8 pounds. That's what she could lift. So, but yeah.
Okay, we'll scratch that idea. Remind me, the terrain is like mountainous, right? And it's snowy.
Yep.
So the shots came from like a
behind you
area, or more like
the mountain like behind you. You're in a valley. You're in a valley right now, so you're not entirely sure how high up. Yeah.
And they're basically wide open. I mean, okay, so she's gonna give it a bit. She'll say to David, I'm gonna wait and see if there's any more shots, or if they send anyone out. Just a few moments.
Okay. In that case, Messy, turn your camera on.